Hello, and welcome back to another critical live stream on a good big Sunday morning. For me, anyways, afternoon for some of you, evening for a few of you, even. Look, the only time I have muting issues is on the game streams, and that's a whole other can of worms right there. I have a really nice thing on my screen, a visual that'll tell me, hey, dude, you're muted. I don't have that on my gaming rig. Y'all ready for today? We have some crazy stuff popping up today. I know we have two game-related ones. We have something from the Cruelty Squad soundtrack and something adjacent to Nier. But we also have some Andrew Bird today, some Tigran Hamasyan, La Dispute, Avatar. Oh, geez, if I had caught on to that, I probably would have went into that little song too, because that's so iconic. All right, who do we have here today so far? We got Synapse, Tedesco, Terranekla, Observe the Train, Leon's here, Pear, Shading, Inky, Hoipu 425. Glad to have you all today. Pretty versatile set, yeah, 100%. You know, the past few weeks, somehow we've lined up with pretty thematic continuity. You know, last week was just super chill. Every song was a bit on the lighter side, but today's all over the place. And I know most of the artists today, which is a little different too. I felt like for a while y'all were taking the live stream as an opportunity to introduce bands that just wouldn't have a shot for the polls and getting through for a proper reaction. So yeah, there's still plenty of slots left. I mean, even if there aren't slots, I'll still force it and I don't know, do 12 or 13 in a day if I have to. But our fourth day is still quite open. I think there's still like 6 or 7 slots left on that one. So I've been going a little over every day to ensure that we have space on the last day rather than trying to crunch a bunch of reactions into that last one. And it kind of leaves it open throughout most of the month. I kind of get worried going into it. Are we going to have enough songs for a full live stream? Do I need to figure something else out? It's all good though. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think it's a good reminder every Sunday that if you haven't put your request in and you are a critic or higher tier on Patreon, definitely go and do that on patreon.com or in the live stream channel on Discord. All right, let's dive into this. Let's just get some music rolling. We're going to kick it off with some Pure Blue, which this is interesting because this is new music from a new group, I think. I saw some of this context when I was setting everything up today. Freshly announced new project spearheaded by 3/4 of the Pretend band lineup with a new vocalist from the now defunct indie band Colossal. I think we've heard Colossal before, but Pretend, that doesn't seem familiar to me. Let's dive into this though. The song is called You Rule the Waves. Nice little mod to the triplets there. Nah, this is not blue at all. This is very warm, chill. Oh, the video is not blue either. I think that's what you were pointing towards. The video is very white and green. I'm focused right on the music. Metaphors going right over my head while I'm in this like analytical listening. Very sparse rhythmic elements plus polyrhythm. Kind of appreciate the lack of a tripod or any sort of stabilizing equipment on the video. Mixed with the like VHS scan lines, feels very retro. Very slight tempo shift there. Yeah, totally agree. This is on a mathier side of indie rock, but still focusing very much on the atmosphere and emotion and allowing the complexity to take a bit of a back seat. Hey there, glad to have you today. This is definitely something I would have to be in the mood for. Very well composed, but very sparse, very light on energy. That was a great section though. Yeah, very tasteful. Totally agree with that. The sax does a lot of heavy lifting, that's for sure. I had mentioned the song was a bit sparse, and it comes in as counterpoint, much needed, I think. Throwing a little bit of spice there on the horn there at the end.
So let me get this straight.
You know what's interesting too is the drums are a bit dry production-wise, but I think they work here. Usually that would be a negative for me. Hey, Arkonji, welcome to the stream. And a fade out. Classic. All right. Yeah, dude, I enjoyed that more than I thought I would. Still not used to it being on Twitch. Is it a notification thing? Because if there's somewhere else you'd like me to put a notification, let me know. I got Discord going, I got Patreon going, but if you need an email notification, I'll figure something out. We'll get an email newsletter every Sunday too. I did enjoy that though. Very tasteful. Just knock on the door. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I've been there too many times. I will log on to something with intention to do something, and then 30 minutes later, I'll realize that I've long left that app or website that I was at. Something else caught my attention, and I've just completely forgot about that initial thing that I was wanting to do. Not email, 10,000 unread emails. Wow. That's at this point, do you just delete them all and start fresh? I mean, you might get backlogged again, but is it worth replying to something from 3 years ago? Wow. I thought I was bad. I'm like a couple hundred behind or so. 10,000 though. Yeah, that's definitely not the route to go then. You just don't reply. I mean, that's fair. What are you gonna do? It's years later. Oh man. All right. So 2K work emails to get through? Dude, I don't. Wow. Like I said, I thought I was pretty bad. That makes me feel a little better. I'm always replying to emails. Hey, I know it's been months, but I'm finally getting back. Then I'll respond for real. I always feel bad about it. Oh, at least the work gets done. That's always good. All right, so this song has some really cool counterpoint going on with well, kind of it dances around the two guitars on the side, mostly for flavor. I think we get a lot of atmosphere out of them, especially earlier in the track when they're more heavier reverbed. But we have the bass giving us these nice moving parts in the center. It's a clearer sound, more physical, less reverberative. Same with the vocals and the eventual sax. And the three of these instruments play off of each other so nicely. I love the way they dance around each other. And to me, it's the heart of the song. The guitars are great. I love how they're doing two different things the entire part of the song. I mean, that's just classic indie rock right there. But it really is everything else, I think, that brings it together. And the sax, without it, I think the song would have been far too long. Earlier on in the track, Jadankin had came in and just typed Z's. The song was putting him to sleep. I kind of get that. It started off very smooth, very chill, very relaxing, and as I mentioned during the reaction, sparse. Even the sax you felt was the song was far too long. I did think they were going to end it about a minute earlier than they did, but I ended up enjoying the moving parts that came in that final minute and a half. So I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on the length, but as far as atmosphere to just melt into it, like I said, if I was in the mood for this song would absolutely hit. And it's tasteful. I think it was Inky who mentioned that earlier, calling the song tasteful, but it's exactly what it is. It has enough spice to it to give it energy and forward momentum and complexity, but it's just smooth enough to go down easy too. And that's just fantastic. It was jangly, like keys? I don't think I understand that adjective. To me, that's like sparkly. Or at least that's how I'm imagining it. Maybe they should have cut out the first minute or so. Maybe sometimes you need the more sparse, boring stuff to make the rest of it pop. And while the song might have been excellent if it was just that good layered meaty stuff at the end of the track, I think that the ending was elevated because of the beginning. I don't know. Maybe it would have worked. Light sounding guitars. Okay, yeah. We're kind of on the same page with that then. I enjoy that though. I'll have to keep an eye on these guys. Like I said, I don't know if it's something I would always listen to, but if I'm in the mood for just something very soothing and comfortable, that's it right there, without feeling like it's too little either. And that's where that nice balance comes in, where it becomes very tasteful. All right, we have some Andrew Bird coming up. This dude has always treated me well with music. Oh, okay. So it's the first track off the album. Yeah, that helps a lot too. Kind of soothe you and pull you into the sound that they're going to get into. Yeah, dude, there is definitely a jazzy element to it. Without ever describing it as jazz, I totally get that feeling. So, yeah, I can get behind that description too. This is Tables and Chairs, coming from Michael. Happiest post-apocalyptic song you'll ever meet. Happy post-apocalyptic. That's just great. All right, let's dive into this one. See what Andrew is bringing to the table.
If we can call them friends, then we can call them on red telephones. And they won't pretend that they're too busy or they're not alone. And if we can call them friends, then we can call. Holler at them down these hallowed halls. Just don't let the human factor fail to be a factor at all. Don't you worry about the atmosphere or any sudden pressure change.
The offbeat bells are really nice.
It's starting to get warm in here, and things are starting to get strange.
I was thinking that myself. I was like, dang, this is 2 light songs. I think the end of this stream, if nothing else, is gonna ramp us up though.
Roses from the can. And how I wish
it's interesting that bell idea is so short, not repeated either. Like a little interlude.
Fit into the plan.
They crept in. For some reason, I just thought they were always there. Very cool detail. Brutality will redeem itself.
We were so tired of being mine. And we were tired. I know we're gonna meet someday.
I know the grass is usually greener on the other side. I wish this was my dentist office background music though.
There'll be tables and chairs, there'll be pony rides and dancing bears, there'll even be a band. Cause listen, after the fall, there'll be no more countries, no currencies at all. We're gonna live on our wits, we're gonna throw away survival kits, straight butterfly, nice rider all. And that's not all. Whoa, there will be snacks, there will. There will be snacks, there will.
love this violin line. It's the subtle swells on all of it too. Just really great directionality.
We were so tired of being loved, and we were so tired.
Come on, dual vocals.
So don't you worry about the atmosphere.
I mean, that's just a solid song right there. Great harmonies, great melodies, cool atmosphere. The ornamentation is nice as well. It feels chill and relaxing. And like I've said before, dude, Andrew, it's not fair how awesome his voice is. I could listen to him sing forever. We have the excellent violin line. We have the pizzicato on the violin in the smaller places to kind of make them feel lighter and bouncier. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about this one. It's Andrew Bird. Just enough complexity to not make it feel completely simple, but definitely staying on that more palatable and digestible side of music, while just using every ounce of charisma and gorgeous sound production. Not even just the writing, which of course is gorgeous, but the way he plays his instrument, the way he sings, the people he gets to sing with him, the way they play their instruments. There's just a beauty to all of it. And it just comes together into this really well-rehearsed, fantastically gorgeous song. I think others we heard were more quirky. This one was more beautiful. He's definitely, I've seen both sides of him. I think we're about 50-50 on it so far. But I think I do like these a little more than his more off-kilter side. Something about, like I said, I think it's just the raw beauty that he just captures in every facet. I think it's rare to find an artist who focuses so much on that side of things without going into heavy production. This is like the pop production in acoustic live performance. And it hits all those same things I love about pop sensibilities, but with all the things I love about acoustic music and live performance. And it's just a perfect marriage of the two worlds, I think. We have a little bit of a Spotify block going on here. We have 3 Spotify songs ahead of us. This one, the artist is called Dasu, or probably just Das. Bit of a silent U there. The track's called Divine. This one comes at us from Gakyu. Pretty song that I think is tame enough for your sensibilities. I really hope that's accurate here. Yeah. It feels like one of those comedic comments. A little bit of a backhander. No, I take it with grace. I know that I like things to be in the middle. Not a big fan of extremes on either end usually. And I think people have picked up on that over the years. All right. Let's see what's going on here with the track Divine. Okay, I'm on board so far. Hope this song's boring enough for you. You know, sometimes I feel that way. But it's all in good fun, I think. Oh! Whispered Vocaloid? Okay, the bass is sick. Rhythmically, I'm on board with this. Heavy use of whispering is an interesting choice. Very crisp production on this. Okay. The halftime works really well here. I can see the DSO comparison. A little bit of jazzy piano thrown in here. The hi-hat's interesting because it kind of feels like a trap beat at times. Dude. There's a stretchiness to the vocals where they get pulled out to the sides. Random high vibrato. Oh, it just ends there, apparently. I'm on board for this. It's infectious, it's catchy, it's fun, it's complex in digestible ways. A lot of that complexity comes down to the rhythmic side of things. There's some really interesting rhythmic interplay between the vocals. This is something I'm picking up, and I think was even confirmed in one of the comments of one of the recent Vocaloid reactions I've done, is that given that they aren't real people singing, we can do things that are a bit more complex and difficult to do for a human singer. So we can have really fast, complex rhythms. We can have a lack of breathing in there, which is a big affordance to Vocaloid. And so the vocal aspect, while it does carry melody, also sort of becomes a percussive device in a couple of these sections. And listening to it against some of the stuff that the drums are doing, and then even layering on some of the more syncopated bass work on here, that trifecta right there is very cool. And we hear some of that on here. There's the excellent production that I expect from Vocaloid music. That penultimate section with the vocals that felt like they were stretched. They were still very physical in the center, but they were thin and placed on the outsides in specific parts of the run. I mean, that was pretty cool. You don't think this was Vocaloid? I would need some clarification on that. If anyone has information about this artist, it sounds very Vocaloid to me. Now, here's the thing though, we've also heard, and I think this was actually my introduction to Otto as an artist, was her covering a Vocaloid track with insane precision. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where it's getting tough to tell if it's digital or not, because the digital tools are getting so close to acoustic and that people are just pushing themselves to ridiculous limits. So to my ears, though, this is certainly Vocaloid. Interesting. Wow. I'm kind of blown away by that. There's obviously been some tweaking to it to make it sound a bit more Vocaloid-esque. But I'm impressed. That's the one, them laying down the vocals then. Very cool. Well then, everything I said should just be taken a little bit further then. My appreciation for it came from a purely musical perspective, but now there's the performative aspect as well. Yeah, it was very come on, guys. You know what's funny is I've never realized how much I overuse that word until y'all have pointed it out. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to slow down. I think it is a perfectly cromulent word for most of the music I get thrown my way. But I do recognize it sometimes when I say it. I'm like, dude, that's like the 4th time this video I've said interesting. I'm pretty sure there was at least one human involved. I mean, as long as there's one human involved, I'm on board. When there's 0 humans involved, I don't want anything to do with it anymore. Which, I don't know if I've ever disclosed this, but I've been getting an increasing amount of emails for people wanting me to react to their music, and I've begun having to vet these requests because so many of them are AI music. It is ridiculous. I'm hoping YouTube's recent change is going to reduce that. They just put something out that AI channels or AI videos, I don't know which one it is, they can't get monetization anymore. So I don't know how they're going to check that. I know there's a check box when you upload a video that states that they're, I used AI in some of the creation of this, but that's Scout's honor right there. Brian hates machines. Oh, jeez. That's good. But yeah, I'm hoping we see less and less channels popping up in general, not just in my email, but on YouTube of, hundreds of thousands of AI created songs just because they can pump out one every minute or so. I don't know how fast they can do it. But I'd hope to see less of it out there, especially since YouTube isn't going to monetize views on it anymore. Clankers? Geez. I am going to accidentally drop that word next time I'm playing Nier because it's going to be rattling around in my brain. Jeez. You have done this to me, Veiled. When it happens, I know who to blame. Yeah, though, I'm on board for this. Jeez, Rick. What's funny is I actually say jeez a lot in real life, even before Rick and Morty really popularized that phrase with that whiny voice. But it's all I can think of when I say it now. I hate it. I really do. All right. Like I said, I'm on board with this track, though. I might have to check out more from Dasu just because I enjoyed that. One of the Vocaloid tracks that I think clicks with me a little more than the others. All right, we have Chiliasm? Chiliasm? I don't know. The song's called Mother Cosmos. I was going to say Mother Chaos. Mother Cosmos. I could pronounce that one. Don't tell the Cylons. Oh, jeez. You bet this plays in dentist's office. What are we in store for here, even? It comes from Mykola, Neoclassical Tech Death. Okay, yeah, this is going to change things up a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's dive in. See what's going on with this one. Shading's palette is too complex for this. I'm not a big fan of the bass tone, but the bass playing so far has been intense. Oh, you love the bass tone, okay. The bass is definitely fretless. Looks like we have 2021. They have harsh vocaloids now. Mark, I love how you heard the word creations. Oh, that's good. Ooh. Sharp as in piercing or in pitch? Could you imagine a French horn just popping up? I know why I don't like the bass. It reminds me of the old Sound Blaster low-end bass sounds. There are so many early 90s PC games with bass instruments that sound like this. Yeah, it's the bass guitar that sounds like it wants to be a trombone, and that sounds just never clicked for me. And I attribute it to synthesized bass tone, and I think it's just not clicking. All right. As for everything else, though, I agree with the production element. The instruments all feel very different. I think it ends up working, but there is one production woe in this that I was not a big fan of, which is a metal staple. I don't think I've ever brought this up before, but the idea that the solo needs to be louder than the regular guitar volume. And so we have this really cool solo, feels very full. This is our new peak. And then we come down from that to the regular riffage and the song feels flat now. Never been a big fan of that. It shows up in metal all across the years, from, you know, the most garage band metal bands to even most prolific ones. Just one of those design choices. It's never clicked with me, and it showed up in here, and it just reminded me I don't like that. But everything else in here works. The riffage is cool. Like I said, the bass lines are sick. I love what the bassist has written. I think that the movement throughout, the shifting between more metallic ideas and more classical ones works really well. High energy. There's always something to have your jaw drop on the floor about. There's also the precision of everything. It isn't just fast, but it's also very precise, played very cleanly. That's pretty much a cornerstone about tech death that I love. It's still tech death though. And y'all have brought up the vocals more than once. I'm right on board with that. They don't do anything for me. I think the song would have worked just fine as an instrumental, and I don't think I would have missed anything. There's very few growlers though that I think add a lot to the music, and especially with the growls here kind of being tucked into the mix a bit. I don't really see them adding too much other than just being another texture, which gives it that heavy metallic feel. Maybe it would feel a little sparser without it. Maybe it wouldn't feel as aggressive without it. I don't know. Compare this to Oregon. Yeah. Two very different types of tech debt. That's for sure. There's a lot of time between those two though, right? Oregon's from a while ago. I don't remember. It's pretty bad. I just checked that one out. Oh, wait, for real? Yeah, 2024. Okay, well, I take that back then. I like harsh vocals, but these could have been left out without changing much. 100%. 100%. And see, with something like this too, I think I can appreciate this a lot more as a single track. Now, granted, this comes off of an EP that's a whole 17 minutes long. Every single song is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Every single song. I kind of find that impressive. I really do. Because this song didn't really have dead air. There's no place where I'm like, oh, they stretched this out to fit. And the ending doesn't feel like it was cut short or anything. That's kind of impressive. If they do that for every single track where it all feels naturally designed to be exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't even know. Let's see, this came out May 19th. So 5/19. Huh. One up and one down. I don't even know. How do you decide to do something like this? How do you make it sound so natural? I think that's what really shocks me. Growling lyrics for a story that is unintelligible. A tree falls in the woods just to make sounds. I have said that for a long time. If you're going through the effort of writing out lyrics, why do you make them purposefully difficult to get into, to understand, and to appreciate? Now, if you're just making sound to make sound because maybe you think your lyrics are garbage, I totally get that. But most vocalists, lyricists are putting some sort of effort into it and then just making it so hard to appreciate it. It's been one of my big, I don't know if I'd call it an issue, but confusing elements of metal in general. The only idea, the kind of idea that only comes around when you're faded. I mean, that makes sense. Having garbage lyrics hasn't prevented many musicians from making them, for instance. That's fair. That's fair. That's good. All right. So, Tigran Hamasyan. Let's get some context on it first. I don't think I need any to jump in though. Pear says, Red, White, and Black Worlds off of the 2024 multimedia creation, double album, stage play, short film, and a computer game, The Bird of 1,000 Voices. That's... Now I'm intrigued. I want to know more about this. Let's Let's dive in. I don't know what to expect anymore. Okay, I'm not counting this, I don't think. It does have rather nice flow. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I think that's a good word for it. When I was talking about it having good flow, organic flow might make more sense. Interesting choice here. I like the atmosphere of that section. Oh, I like this evolution of the idea too. The rhythm in the last one was throwing me off more though. What's interesting, Synapse, is that the last time we checked out Hamasyan, I pretty much said something along the same lines. He definitely writes indulgent music. And you gotta meet him on his level. You gotta know that going in. He writes piano riffs as if he wishes he was a tech-deaf guitarist, and I think that's kind of cool for a jazz pianist to do. The nice thing about this track too, compared to the last one, are lulls like this that kind of bring the energy down a bit for a little bit of contrast. Yeah, exactly. Like a drum break with a piano. That section was in 4/4 there. Well, there was a 4/4 polyrhythm to it, or polymeter to it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was all in 4/4, but there are definitely some sections I had an incredibly tough time finding a time signature to. So, if they were in 4, I didn't pick it up. I didn't find the polymeter that went with it. And what they were playing was certainly not the 4 itself, which I suppose is usually the twist there. Just like with Meshuggah. If you try to count out what they're playing, you're not going to find that 4, but there is a 4 backbeat, sometimes not even played in the section. So, syncopated bliss, yeah. What if it's an 8/8? Yeah, I agree though. Much like the last time we checked out Hamasyan, I greatly enjoy this. It's not something I think I'm going to listen to a lot. It is more technical than I prefer to listen to, and it does feel rather indulgent at times, being technical because they can, or for the sake of technicality. I certainly understand though, if you put all the time and effort into being at this level of performance, that you're going to want to show it off. I get that. And there are certainly many sections in this track that I feel are fantastic because of how complex they are. 124. Y'all are getting wild with these time signatures. But there are just as many times I feel where it's indulgent. It's too much. And I would have preferred something a little bit less convoluted for that moment. But I do really like how Hamasyan finds a way to incorporate atmosphere and emotion even into these rather fast-moving sections. I think he does a great job of making sure that no matter how complex it becomes, it still has that emotional resonance to it. And that's something that I don't always feel in tech death. Or, I mean, not even just tech death, but even like free jazz and bebop. Sometimes people can get so sucked into the theoretical side of it and the complexity and the speed and the technicality that they lose that emotional side. And I think that that wasn't really lost here or it wasn't lost more often than it was. Yeah, I think that's accurate. Just woke up and you're not gonna math. Oh, geez. 3, 5, 6, 7. I am not playing in tuplet meter. Okay, let's just knock those out of here. The bottom number needs to be a 4 or an 8 or yeah, just leave it at that. 4 and 8. Those are good numbers to put on the bottom. I'm not playing anything with a 7 on the bottom. Golly. I'll play 7, 6 long before I play 6, 7. I respect self-indulgence in art, honestly, even when it's not for me. Live your dream. Yeah, 100%. I can totally get behind it. And like I said, if you've trained up to this level, dude, show it off. You put in the time, you put in the work. Yeah. I don't know if it's something that I would always want to do, even if I got to that level. but I've never been to that sort of expertise on an instrument before. So, I think back to my peak on trumpet, and sure, I wanted to show off my range every chance I got. So, I mean, maybe I would be that kind of guy. But, like I've said many times, even if it's not for me, it's still good art. So I'm not trying to take it down a peg or anything like that. The song is consistently fantastic, complex, and like I said, still has an emotive element despite the technicality. So yeah, I'm at the same place I have always been for Hamasyan, which is sort of a distant, an arm's reach, sort of, what is that word I want? Adoration. I really love what he's doing. It's just not always for me. He doesn't always do it. Okay. See, I've only heard, I think this is my second or third song from him, and they've all been this sort of hyper technical, bordering on what if death metal but jazz, or tech death but jazz. And I don't think I've heard anything a bit more reserved from him. Is the next song the point where I mute the stream? I mean, it is Law Dispute. You and them have not gotten, you don't see on the same plane. You never have. That might be a point where you have to do that. Imagine a boss battle for this. Dude, this would be really good boss battle music, especially with all the weird time signatures. Really embodies the feeling of being off kilter or out of your depth. And when you finish the boss, it's like a big accomplishment, and the music ties into that. Yeah, 100%. This track is part of a trilogy about a dude trying to deal with the fact his wife cheated on. Oh, haven't we heard one of the songs from this trilogy before? Last Blues for Bloody Knuckles does not sound familiar. That picture does, and I'm pretty sure Rasmus had given us one that had a very similar description to that on a live stream. It might have been one of my first introductions to Law Dispute. So, oh, good job, Arkonji, with the link. I had the link pulled up myself too, and I will definitely be checking this out. In fact, I want to show this off real quick because there's a really cool like parallax effect going on where you can move the background not just left and right but also up and down, changing the perspective of being higher up off the ground and looking down, or being closer to it and looking flat across it. Just a very cool work of art. I love the sort of monochromatic art style. It looks real neat. I will definitely be checking this out later. I don't know when later. Probably sometime this week. I don't think I have time today. Just a simple side scroller with a high score at the end, but I'm a little bummed. I was hoping for something more narratively driven, less mechanically. With an art style like that, I mean, I could see a really strong, like emotional, gripping story, even if the interactivity is a bit lesser. Dum, dum, bum, dum, bum, bum. You can have a strong narrative story and a side. I'm trying to think of. I'm sure. Oh, Gris. That one. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of others though. Especially like a high score arcade style platformer. Oh, actually, Celeste is a really good one too. That definitely kind of fits in that arcadey style. Limbo's a good one too. Less arcadey, but definitely a side scroller with a good narrative. Which I finally picked up Inside this week. It was like $1.50 or something, $2 over on GOG, and I'm excited to give that a shot because I loved Limbo, but I haven't checked out anything else from that development house. All right, Pear, I have your other Hamasyan recommendation here. I'll listen to that later today. but I'm excited to hear something a bit more reserved from him. Wasn't there one with a time rewind? I'm vaguely thinking, like, what was that game called? It wasn't from the same devs, though. Oh, yeah. I was thinking of something totally different. The original poster child of the indie game movement. All right. You know what's funny too is Braid like blew my mind when it came out in the mid 2000s, and I replayed it a couple years ago, and I was like, it's okay. Funny how time changes things. Very reserved in comparison, and his most played song. That's big. Definitely. Well, it doesn't have to mean, but it usually indicates something a bit more palatable. All right. No context for this one? Nope. Let's dive in though. See what's going on with a lot of disputes. See, I have Cave Story up on a pedestal because I've never played it, and I've always heard how excellent it is, but I'm a little worried. I finally played Super Metroid a couple of years back, maybe last year, and it did not live up to the hype. And it's just because, you know, so many games have done it so well, but that was the first.
Life, I am in shambles, I am crumbling, was it something I did with the tide to climb so high that it ripped our shore up? I can fix it, I swear, if you trust me. I am old and I am rusting, but I care,
I'm sold on this already. 7, 8 times with her.
There is nothing you can do.
That's impressive. All right. I like the first half a lot more than the second half. To me, it had more, I don't necessarily want to say emotion, but I connected with the emotion more at the beginning. Because after that, we kind of turned pain and sorrow into rage. And I think the music did a great job of amplifying this feeling. The vocals became more consistently harsh with less of the normal vocals coming in, giving it that whiny feel. It was pretty much harsh consistently. It feels like yelling, like getting rid of pain in an angry way. And I think that really works to wrap this up, to build into. I just connected with it less. I found the music not as interesting. The vocals were less dynamic. It just kind of moves in a direction that I casually was not too big of a fan of. But I think it works artistically. So, but yeah, I mean, that's Law Dispute. I don't have a lot to add to it. I liked, actually, one thing that surprised me is the instrumental variety at the beginning. I'm used to sort of more of a in-your-face abrasive type of instrumental work from them. And I found that to be a bit more nuanced than I expect, with more of a focus on interlinking ideas and sort of having the guitar and the bass sort of working with each other to create a more nuanced atmosphere than I expect from them. Granted, it's only two instruments. It's not like there's a lot of room to do anything dense or complex as far as interlinking parts go, but they do a lot with what little they have. Thematically, it's turning from a husband pleading with his wife to understand until getting to the back and forth where she comes out and explains why she cheated, which is so much more gut-wrenching to the singer than to just plead. Yeah, 100%. I think the song does a great job of showcasing that movement. I'm kind of interested in that final song now. Yeah. Like, I only vaguely remember the first track. I'd have to go back and listen to it again. It was early. March 2022. This was live stream number 22 that we checked out New Storms for Older Lovers. That was a long time ago. But it certainly put an impression on me. I mean, as soon as you described the song, I was like, it clicked. I knew exactly what we were on about. So that's pretty impressive. 3 years, I'm usually not remembering things like that. He goes in and yells at the lover until he finally responds. Okay. And see, that is one thing that I kind of wish. I think I had mentioned this back then too, that there's different perspectives coming in through the song, but the vocals are fairly consistent throughout. And that's always something that, even with when we checked out Wildlife, was something that I had a bit of an issue with. Even just little change ups to timbre or shifting from cleans or spoken to harshes, just something would help with that, of shifting perspectives. But otherwise, I'm usually on board with this. Even though it comes down to a low after the initial rage against the lover, the singer continues to scream even while it's lower because the words of the lover hurt their husband so much. Yeah, dude, that's a good detail to catch on to there. The music dips, but the vocals don't. I feel like one of these days I need to give this album a spin. Wildlife was emotional, but I don't think it grabbed me as something to return to. But this was their debut album. And everything I've heard from it feels like it has more, I don't know. I don't necessarily want to say nuance, because Wildlife had some pretty cool layering in it too. But both of these songs have just grabbed me in a way. Their debut is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, okay. That's the phrase I needed to hear. I'm sold on it. I'm curious too. Post-hardcore emo. Oh, Wildlife was their second album. It's also post-hardcore emo. To me, I feel like there's such a big leap from this album to Wildlife, but It was only a couple of years. I mean, they were back-to-back releases. They have an album coming out this year? Okay, September 5th. Plot twist, it's unbelievably bad. It's more raw, hard to say considering Wildlife. Yeah, dude. Wildlife is a very raw album. Do I have anything else lined up for September? I don't think so. I usually rely on you all to tell me about music releases. Yeah, I don't have any music release in September, but this goes in the list now. 9, 5. Music. Dispute, #media. Oh, dang. This is why I don't do this kind of stuff while I'm streaming. All right. I just sent all of this data, 3 selections in the future. That sucks. It is not. Oh, it is running. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to get some of this rolling while we listen to the next track in order to keep things on track. I think I saw the new Deftones single, maybe? I don't know. I've heard them come up lately, and I don't know why. But I didn't think I knew they had a new album coming out. Dance Gavin Dance, I heard about their new album coming out, but I don't think I had a date for it. I don't know. After that Jackpot album, which I was not really impressed with at all, kind of gave up on them. Like if they came up for a reaction, yeah, I mean they're a fun group. For 3 minutes or so, I'd be excited about it. But a whole album, they have a new singer though, right? I might give it another shot. See what this album's like. All right. Andrew Wells. Why do I know that name? Yeah, that's what I said. So I need to change this to any other button, but I have it on tab right now. And usually I don't push tab during the streams, but I did something I don't usually do on stream, which is add something to my release radar. And I hit tab 3 times. And now I need to update a bunch of stuff. So that's fantastic. All right, what do we have here? All right. Just going to do this real quick. This is not going to get updated because reasons. I don't know yet. I'll find out a reason when I can think again. But everything else will be updated. All right. Last one. Let's do this. Let's check out some context for this next one coming in. I probably should do Shift Tab. I made this system years ago, and who knows what I was thinking of back then. DGG has never super clicked for you before. They haven't. They've been a band who I've sort of enjoyed. Like I said, a track here and there I'm on board with. But there's been some songs that just haven't really clicked with me. I think lyrically they were interesting. I remember, was it Lyrics Lie was the track? That one was pretty cool. But yeah, Jackpot, that album didn't really grab me. I think it was like a solid 7 out of 10. good stuff, good riffs, good, like, super catchy, very dancey, but nothing that stood out to me. You only really listen for John Mess. John's got, he's got a good harsh. I'll give him that. Hillian's shallow and John says nonsense. Yeah, I think that's what made Lyrics Live fun when we got into the lyrical dive, because it's just kind of, it's a fun ride of lyrics. And see, with Jackpot, I didn't check out the lyrics. I just listened to it straight through. So that could be something that influenced my enjoyment of it as well. It is very bright, poppy, post-hardcore though. And that doesn't always click with me. So maybe it's just the musical side of things too. Which is weird. I like post-hardcore. I like pop beat music. I'm not a big fan of them smashed together though. All right, let's get this train rolling. Do we have context on this? We do. As if I didn't know that. Back in 2012, Yoko Taro formed an idol group through his connections with Keiichi Okabe, who composed the music. The story of this group and later stage plays served as a basis for Nier Automata. The idol group also performed vocals for Drakengard 3 songs. All right. If lyrics are garbage, they should just grow. Let's dive into this. See what's going on with this idol group stuff for video game stories. I don't even know how to begin talking about this. This is just a wild concept.
皆様こんにちは。私たちはYoRHaです。今から歌唱を始めたいと思います。もうしばらくで開始しますので、皆様静かにお待ちください。4、3、2、1、0。
Are these songs lyrics in a made-up language? Dude, this whole intro has been unexpected. Oh, so they're using Japanese here? Interesting texture on that. Yeah, all languages are technically made up. Another interesting shift. Mark. Really cool placement and spatial movement there, with one of the instruments being just a hair behind the other one and bouncing back and forth. Um, I don't know what to make of this. Melodies are super catchy. The production is neat. There's so many different textures on the vocals. They're all over the place. But musically, when I think about what just goes on the paper, it's very sparse. It's hyper minimal. There's just a dance beat in the background, some synths that are going on to provide harmony, and then the vocals on top. I don't know. I suppose if it's done with story in mind to start, I think that it serves its purpose to put it to music. But as a song, I feel it's a little anemic. It needs just something else. But on the other hand, it also, I think, fits well into EDM, which tends to be a style of music that is a bit lighter on composition to begin with. So it's quite possible that the execution matches the intention on this. And we are talking about working with Keiichi Okabe here, who the dude writes beautiful compositions. So if he was part of the writing process, then this was all intentional, and it ended up exactly how it was supposed to. But I think I kind of agree with a couple other people. It kind of feels like background music, and the vocal effect was a bit grating for me too. When did this come out? I think is another good question. It feels early 2000s to me. And I think I can have a little bit more leniency for the production if it were a bit earlier. Splatoon JRPG music. Sounds like what plays during a cutscene. You know what's interesting is I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it, but I could see music like this being played during like a Kingdom Hearts scene. That would just fit perfectly. No artist is perfect, and many will make something that's not good, even for themselves, I suppose. 2014. Okay, that's quite a bit old or newer than I thought. It was found in the Drakengard 3 files. That's interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm just totally blindsided by this, and that's not helping either. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit stunned by it. My expectations were up here based on everything that surrounds it, context wise, and it ended up just being an okay pop track. And that's on me. I definitely put my expectations too high on this. But it is catchy, it's very danceable. I suppose from those perspectives, and maybe if I knew the language and knew what was being said, having the story told through it, all of that might improve my perception of the track. All right. Like yeah, dude, expectations always ruin music for me. You didn't feel it was danceable? Dude, there was 4 on the floor bass beat going on. That's all I need to dance. I'm a very simple creature. Idol group music. Yeah, that too. All right. We have guy has one. The funny thing is, I'm only standing on one leg right now. I do this all the time, where I will take one of my feet and put it against my knee and just balance on one foot. I don't know why, but I'm literally on one foot right now. All right, we have some Ville Kallio. I don't know if those are supposed to be Spanish double L's, more of like a Y sounds. The song is called Rent Due. Getting your yoga in while streaming. This is from the Cruelty Squad video game soundtrack. Oh, actually, yeah. Spanish wouldn't be accurate. they should be pronounced. Okay, cool. So then I was probably kind of close, but not right. Feel anxiety incoming, 100%. For those of you who don't show up to the gaming streams on Wednesdays and Fridays, you have probably still heard somebody mention the game Cruelty Squad, or just that phrase, even during our Sunday streams. This was the second game I streamed, and it is anxiety-inducing. It is just such a negative game in so many ways, and the music is overpowering and disruptive. It's going to be a tough track to listen to. It's called Rent Due, and it makes me think that it's the apartment complex level, which that song, it's in my mind. I can already hear it. I can already feel my body temperature rising. You should check it out, maybe even stream it. All right. Oh, the game is phenomenal, but don't go into it if you want a fun time in the slightest. It's not really fun to play, not fun to experience, it's not fun to listen to. I enjoyed my time with it. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who's going to play it. All right, do we have context on this? From FHI, may the sun smile at you with eternal malice. All right, I don't want to do this. Let's dive in and see what's going on with Rent Due. Just a random stop. It's like the black metal of games. You know, yeah. Even down to theming. I was right. By the way, this is the apartment level. I thought I had put this life behind me, but here I am, reliving my whole experience with this. Oh, yeah. I don't enjoy it. I think that's pretty obvious. But it's certainly unique and does a great job at putting, that emotion into the music. Quite mild. I mean, that's fair, I suppose, but this is not mild music to me in the slightest. It's all of the tension and the There are some shrill noises in there. It is pretty much nonstop buzzing. There's so much buzz on everything. Everything's compressed and distorted, and that amplifies the tension through the harmony. It's very low end based too. I can feel this rattling in my bones. Yeah, I mean, relative for sure. I can definitely hear some Trent Reznor in it. Just a general industrial vibe. So, and you know, there's that part too. I have never experienced this outside of the context of where it exists in the game. And as Leon mentioned, there's a lot of things happening, sound effects alongside this that I'm probably subconsciously putting back into it. And it also took me like 50 minutes of dying to get through this level, playing it over and over and over, and the song just going nonstop. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I'm getting PTSD from this. This is one of the worst levels in the game for me. But like I said, even without all that, there's still a lot of tension and anxiety built into the song, into the textures of the instruments. It's, I don't know. I could not listen to this. This is far from mild to me. You just lost touch with your corporate minds. That's it. I just need to get back into to the grind set, and I'd enjoy this again. Your favorite level and song, personally? I don't have a favorite song. That's for sure. I don't know what my favorite level would be though. They were all really stressful. I I talk about this game warmly. I tell people to go play it. I think it is an interesting experience. But I don't think I have any warm or fond memories of this game at all. The least hated, you know, that's a really good way to describe this. I didn't love any of it, but there are definitely parts that I hated less. I don't know what they are, but there were parts for sure. Genociding Shades was much funnier. Maybe that's supposed to be funner, but I mean, yeah, I suppose mechanically it is funner. That's for sure. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that. We have some edmondx coming up next. I don't know who that is, but we have a music video for this, so I'm kind of excited about that. All right. I think we're good here. After this is Avatar. We're not quite good yet. Guy recommends Cruelty Squad, doesn't want black metal requests. Flesh-eating gas launcher to a club crowd. I did do that, didn't I? I'm not proud of it. It was necessary, though. People who only know me for my kind demeanor towards musical art are like, who is this guy? What kind of things does he do in his spare time? All right, we have some edmondx here. Nope. Why did that not? Okay, so it's from Elbow Juice. Make sure to watch the music video. It's very integral to the song. It's called Touch Grass. He's wearing a shirt that says touch some grass. All right, this all seems to be going. It's going to loop in on itself, become recursive. Let's dive into this. See what's going on with edmondx.
Walk into the function, got that aura, you get smelled.
Let's go! Don't play with me!
Bro, how are you so good at this game?
Well, it's a mixture of talent, skill, a little bit of,
Bro, you need to go outside and touch grass.
Yo! Whoa, whoa. Why would you even say? I mean, like, you're joking, right?
No, like I'm being serious. You need to go outside and touch some grass.
Yeah. Yo, wait. Do you hear that? I think it's the sound of pure talent and not touching grass.
What, bro?
Walk into the function, got that aura you can smell. Gucci straight from Timo in that sheen, make Chanel. I don't care if my dress fake, you would know if I ain't tell. But if you tell me to touch grass, I'll pull up and give you hell. Stop tryna make me touch it, I'll make you kick the bucket. 1v1 me on the game, I'm tryna show you something. I'm tryna teach you something. I'll pull up on you and work you with the touching grass like it's nothing. I swear I'm not bluffing. I've been on my computer all day.
Oh my jeez. What is this?
You scared, you know that I'm way too good at the game. When I pull up, you gon' fail. Watch out, I'm off for the rail. When I pull up, you gon' know, cause I walk in the function with aura, you smell. Walk into the function, got that aura, you can smell. Gucci straight from Timo in that
I have not seen Dave.
I don't care if my dress fake, you would know if I ain't tell. But if you tell me to touch grass, I'll pull up and give you hell. I ain't touch no grass, though. I ain't touch no grass.
What is this?
This ain't that bad after all. Why ain't I touch grass at all? Wish I could go back in time and show myself what I was missing. Has never been
Oh man.
I felt my mission. People always told me to touch grass, but I never listened. But now that I've done it, I see the vision. This ain't that bad after all. Why ain't I touch grass at all? This ain't that bad after all. Why ain't I touch grass at all?
Arkonji, I read your comment as the kind of music that streamers unintentionally make instead of unfortunately. That cracked me up. This does sound like, I don't know what you would call it. Generic music? Like, I don't even know if I could apply a genre to this. There certainly is intention here.
No way. The rumors are true. I mean, he really became one with nature. That is amazing. That's actually so beautiful. I mean, it's too bad I gotta cut this tree down.
Streamer core, I can get behind that. Yeah, I don't know if this kind of, if edmondx makes music as their main deal. It definitely feels very memey, especially with the lyrical content and the twist ending. But I don't know. I don't think it was bad. Comical. Oddly enough, my kind of humor. I have a tough time with the Zoomer humor, but I felt that this kind of worked. The music video was, dude, the music video was solid. Definitely a bit overdone. There's a lot of animations going on, but it's also very well edited. Like, I was impressed for that. Even musically, the production is solid here. It's a bit sparser on the musical side of things, but I mean, even when looking at some of the, extra ornamental ideas, there's still a little bit of spice added to it. The little flips on the vocals too, done with the whatever software he was using to get the digitized voice. Yeah, I mean, it's well done. Plays Fortnite and Roblox. Okay. So yeah, primarily a game streamer, game YouTuber, and this is a solid meme song. Well produced, well made, comical lyrics. Honestly, it's better than it has any right to be, but it's good. Might have to ask me to react to the prison song from, I don't even know what Dave is. What or whom is Dave? Oh, okay. I've never seen the show, but I have seen the poster on probably Hulu. But there's music in this show. Okay, I'm down to hear a little bit of that. I mean, it's a comedy, mockumentary. That might have been what turned me off too. Mockumentaries, just not something that usually works for me. But music's actually a tag in it. About a mid-20s suburbanite who's convinced that he's destined to be one of the greatest rappers of all time. Okay, that actually sounds kind of fun. Such a wonderful message from such a nice young man. We can go with that, Pear. Comedy about holistic own success as a rapper. He's amazing and daft. Okay. Is meme song theme week coming up? We've had comedy week before. I wouldn't mind doing another one. I don't know if meme week specifically is widespread enough that people would be able to contribute a lot of suggestions to it, but I'm always down for more comedic songs. Violet making comedic tracks that rap back into sincerity sound like exactly something that they would do. I don't know a lot about him, but that seems up their alley. His songs are genuinely massive. Wow, interesting. All right, I have too many shows to watch right now, so I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm intrigued by it now. All right, next up, we have some Avatar. Comedic black metal, is that something that we need? I don't know. I suppose it wouldn't be terrible. All right, I think we're back on track for all this. No more manual changing of the text. Isn't that 90% of black metal? Shots fired. We got some Avatar up next. Comes at us from Evil.
You look like you need a friend. Let me in and we'll pretend. Light some candles, do not cry. I'll sing you a lullaby. You lost your key and cannot leave. I'll play with you and make believe. I'll keep you safe with all my power. I will build you a tower. In every stone I'll carve your name. Nothing will be quite the same. Laughter at the midnight tower. In our own little tower. Ashes paint our bedroom gray. These shall be our finest days. As I pledge my precious flower. Keep you safe in a tower. inside and dream of towers. Wake up alone. Welcome home. Alone you count the hours, right where you belong. Welcome home. Don't be scared, you won't be hurt. I promise that I'll keep my word. Just behave and we can play. Just do everything I say. Do not speak and do not think. I will give you everything, everything within my power. I will bring to your tower. Stay inside and dream of towers. Wake up all alone. Welcome home. All alone you count the hours, right where you belong. Welcome home. Stay inside and dream of towers. Wake up all alone. Welcome home. All alone you count the hours, right where you belong. Welcome home.
Turning into a drone back there. And the bells fading out. All right. Find this song mesmerizing. I think I agree with that. It is one of those tracks that's rather simple, but I'd say there's the charisma to it, which is pretty typical for Avatar anyways. This lead vocalist tends to have a lot of personality and theatrics to their delivery. But here it's full display. There's pretty much nothing else going on this track. He just tells a story and you're in for it. It also follows a pretty typical balladic structure. I don't know if that's a word, like a ballad, of having two softer parts, a really big third section, and then a fourth section that returns pretty much to exactly what we had in the first two. I wonder if a piano version of this would be better or not. Because to me, a lot of what makes this stand out is the ornamental stuff. And while I'm sure just vocals and piano could get the emotion across, I really feel like the song is benefited from having those couple of other ideas, because really there isn't anything else to this track. Felt it was very underwhelming. Expectations, right? I, much like Arkonji, was waiting for it to build into something large, and it never really got there. I think it does a great job of setting the stage, telling a story, having an emotional peak, and then having that emotion stripped back. And I think through that lens, it tells the story that it needs to tell. But musically, I was certainly waiting for something more extravagant, more theatrical, more Avatar in that third section than simply what we had with a bit more power. But I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Again, it's expectations. I wanted something that the song wasn't doing. But I don't think it's a bad track. And I think maybe if I knew the words, I might get sucked into that. But just purely on a musical level, it's a lot of repetition and kind of getting sucked in a little bit to the charisma of the vocalist. But if you're not into the vocals, then I can see how you can just find this to be a repetitive, slower track that doesn't go anywhere. Interesting from them, though, because usually, like I said, when it comes to Avatar, I expect more dynamic writing, and this is a bit more on the ballad side of things. So it's cool to see a different side of them every once in a while. All right. Apparently, I never refreshed this page after doing the audio check. 90% sure this song is about depression. I mean, the song feels like it's about depression. I didn't quite understand what he was talking about as far as putting someone in a tower, but just the atmosphere, the moodiness, the guitar dyads, the vocal delivery, having less bombast than I'm used to with him. Yeah, it definitely has a more somber tone than pretty much any other song I've heard, other than that one ballad that we checked out a long time ago that had a music video to it. That was a bit on the slower side, but I think even that was more dynamic and layered than this one was. So this is definitely one of maybe the slowest, most less densely layered track that I've heard from them. All right, last one for today. Vadis, Break the Cycle. This one comes at us from Vermilion Gates. This Canadian band strongly influenced the incorporation of jazz elements in death metal alongside bands like Death, Cynic, and Opeth in the mid-90s. I find the vocals to be easy on the ears when it comes to this genre, and there are elements you may enjoy. Fun fact, the drummer somehow found the time to get a PhD in physics while being in several metal bands. His talent is reflected in his drum work. All right. Jazzy death metal. This is how we're going to wrap up today. Like I said, today was a wild ride all over the place. Let's see how we finish this up. What a shift. That's a good one, Mark. Nice way of bringing physics into this. I can make out full sentences. This is impressive. Very fun drum work there. That's very true. Opposite sides of the spectrum all day. Another fretless bass. What? Technichill. Dude, that's so good. Not just regular jazz, but free jazz. It was mostly the harmonic quality to it. Fun bass line here. We didn't have to. Mark's on the wordplay today. The vocals are certainly not my favorite, but I will give them a pass on this track because I can make out the words. That's good enough for me. That drum work though. Go full growler, don't bother. I don't know the technique on it. It certainly still sounds false chord to me, but there's a lot of clarity and less bite to it. And maybe that's what you mean by half-hearted there. That there's not enough rumble or compression on it. But I'm fine with that. The less gnarliness to it, the easier I can make out the words. The production on here is clean for the vocals, and there's a nice bit of enunciation to it too. So I'm cool with them. Honestly, I'm in the same place as Mark. I would love to have heard some sung vocals in there. But honestly, there's enough melodic and harmonic ideas going on with the bass and two guitars that I don't mind the growls being more texture than melody in this case. It would have been very cool to have another layer of melody in there, though. That would have been excellent, but not necessary for me, at least. Oh, yeah, it fit extra well. Last song of the stream. I will say, though, it is very eclectic, which caused me to chuckle a couple of times due to totally unexpected turns, harmonically, rhythmically, temporally, just out of nowhere. We will begin playing something completely different. The edge will be taken off the guitars to give them something a little lighter and jazzier. We will move from metal to less metallic chord progressions. It's those made no sense to me. I know there are people who love the more jarring transitions. I can't get over that in this case. It's like they got bored halfway into a metal song and said, "Hey, let me practice some jazz while I'm here." Definitely fun. I'll give them that. Very unexpected, very novel shifts. But it left me with a song that I felt existed within two worlds. We were doing something or we're doing the other, and there were very few places where they mixed together. But the context did say that this was in the mid-90s, and this was probably a pretty fresh sound, bringing jazzier components into metal as a whole. So as usual, I'm a bit easier on the sounds when they were innovative. And there's been less time to shave off the harsh edges and to round out the sound and innovate on it. You know, this is brand new stuff, so I'll check that out on my own. Where's my, I guess I'll just put it right here. Dave Jail song. All right. Official lyric video. Should I watch? I guess that's it. The official lyric video. You know what's interesting too is that FX also had another thing going on that was all capital called Cake. Also a long A sound. And it also had musical elements to it. This was 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. So FX was kind of going hard on musical stuff for a little bit. I don't think that FX has any input on Always Sunny either, but Always Sunny has done more musical stuff in the past few seasons as well. So I don't know. FX seems to be the place to go if you like music in your stuff. Dramas? As long as I have the stuff from the show. I think that's what this is. It's like 8 minutes 45 seconds. And FX presents Dave. I'm going to assume this is it. There is a 10-minute one, but that's not official, so maybe that just has some extra stuff from the show. 10-minute. Okay. I got it. Oh, that's on Little Dicky. It is official. That's on his thing too. His channel. All right. I got that queued up alongside this Bird of a Thousand Voices game. I'm going to check that out. Probably not today, but it is another cool discovery from the stream. All right. Anything else I got to say about Vadis? I don't think so. Interesting stuff for the time. A little rough around the edges, but really great ideas. And I'm glad to see more bands trying new stuff, even if this isn't new in the sense that it's from the 2020s. It's still a band doing something new at the time. Kind of awkward. Anyways, let's wrap this up. Thanks everyone for joining me today, listening to some excellent music, having some good laughs in chat, some good conversation. I don't know when early access is going to go out today for the patrons. I'm going to try to get that out at the usual time within the next 4 hours, but we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, get excited for this week. Is this Edibles week? I don't remember. Anyways, as usual, there's going to be good suggestions this week, good music to check out. For those who enjoy the video game streams, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will continue on with Nier Automata. And I guess that's about it for my end of stream shoutouts. So, thanks everyone for dropping by. I did see that we had 2 MF Dooms. One of them, I think, is leading the pack, and the other one is not. So maybe random selection will grab it. Maybe we will have 2 MF Dooms. Go grab a snack for Edibles week. Yeah, 100%. I think this is going to be a fun week. All right. Till next time, remember to be critical, not cynical. I'll catch you all next time.